Yes,
Hey,
we're here.
hey,
Hi.
hey.
Oh my gosh.
Hi,
Okay.
Pat.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to have you here. We're starting a little bit late because we've been having a little bit of technical difficulty, but we're here now, right?
Absolutely. And you look stunning as ever.
Thank you, thank you. And on your side, it looks like it's really late, like it's really dark.
Yeah, I know it's kind of dark. I'm trying the best I can, but
I can still see your beautiful face, which is awesome.
okay, wonderful. Okay,
Okay,
so shall we get on with it?
yes, let's go with it. Welcome everybody to this masterclass. I'm very excited for you guys to be here, and we're going to talk all things launching, like and I love to talk about. And today we're going to especially talk about the 5 most important things you need to keep in mind when you're launching. This masterclass is part of a series of 4. We already did one, um, and today is the second masterclass. It's gonna last for about an hour, and you'll be able to ask your questions at the end in the chat function that you see on the page below. Awesome. So, Maria,
Perfect.
anything you want to add?
Yes, so I just want to dive right into it because we have a whole lot of stuff to talk about today. And I'm really excited to be addressing the 5 most important aspects of launching. Because you and I, Patushka, we've been talking about this for so long, and we have been helping each other out and really, supporting each other when we needed to. And so, what we figured was that mindset and mindset shifts are such a big part of what you need to have a successful launch, right?
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure that everybody heard about launching that is with us tonight. And maybe some of our viewers also already launched a product or service online before. We want to do with these 4 masterclasses is really give you all the tools that you need to be able to launch your next product successfully. Last week, we talked about the 5 myths of launching, and there's a replay for that masterclass on launchingwithlove.com if you haven't seen it. So we really urge you to go and check it out because it was a super fun session and filled with gold nuggets. Now this week we're going to talk about 5 things you really need to consider when launching. So last week we put the foundation, and this week we're starting to build on that by giving you very useful tools for your next launch. So Patushka, shall we get started?
Sure. I just wanted to tell you first that on the screen you look frozen to me.
Okay.
If you want, because I know, if you want to share with everybody, you've been traveling, and I know
Yes, I have.
you're back for some reason. You're back. So, but if you want to put your video out, that's fine too. That means that I'll be the star of the show. I don't know. Are you there? I think we lost her. Hmm. Let me see with her. Yeah, we did lose her. Um, okay, let's see if I can get her back. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue. I wanted her to be on so she could, you know, uh, listen to the whole thing because we are working together on this, on giving you the information that you need for launching. Oh, okay. She's having technical difficulties. It's all coming back again. Hmm. You're back? Yeah, I hear you. You hear me?
Hey, wonderful. I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. I was the only star of the show when you were gone.
Well, you're a wonderful star, so that's all fine.
If you
Okay,
want,
let
take
me
off your
check
video.
if I can.
If you can take
Is
off the
this
video.
working? Can you see me?
Hold on, let me see. Let me see.
Well,
Let me check.
this is part
I
of
see you.
launching anyway. This is part of, yeah. And I'm moving. I'm a moving picture.
You are a moving picture.
Um, okay, perfect. Yeah, the thing is, this is all part of launching and it's all part of the technical nitty-gritty. So, let's stay zen, not worry about it, and just continue.
Yeah, I'm so used to technical glitches by my own launches and then also working with my clients that they don't scare me anymore and I'm not freaked out anymore and that's weird,
Yeah.
but that's what it is. I'm not freaked out anymore.
But you're the mindset queen, huh? In any case, right?
Yeah, yeah. And we're going to talk about mindset when it comes to
Yes,
launching.
we are.
You lose your marbles.
Okay, so
But
yeah.
let's just jump right in. So today I wanted to start the first aspect that we wanted to talk to you about. The first point is preparation. And creating your plan of action for your launch and how you can start creating your plan of action for your launch. The first thing that I usually do for my own projects and then with also my clients as well is to set our goals or intentions for launching that project, service, business, whatever it is, putting the goals first. What I do usually is choose 3 goals and try to make it as specific as possible. And then as measurable as possible, and also attaching a timeline to it so that we can keep ourselves accountable or everyone else involved in the launch. And then another thing I do is also choosing 3 different uh, types of goals or categories of goals. For example, one goal can be something very practical and related to the finances, how much money I want to make by launching this service or this program. And if that applies to launching something like a free uh, ebook or Summit where there's no money really attached to it, you can think about how many people do I want to serve with this thing? How many people do I want to opt in? So that could be a really good goal to look at. Another goal can be something like how do I want people who encounter my launch, people who see my things all over the internet, how do I want them to feel when they encounter this? What is the impact that I want to make on their lives? Um, you know, Making sure that you're clear with yourself about these goals is really the starting point to creating your plan of action. That way you can, plan it out, have the results, and then go backwards with your plan. I feel that working from those feelings and also from, what we want to achieve at the end just sets the projects up or the launch up for success. And it makes us stay connected to our authentic selves and what we truly want when we work at it like this, when we work at it from the feelings, from the, not just feelings, but also results attached to those feelings and what you want. And I feel that this is the best foundation to create a plan and then to create a launch that's inspiring and then authentic. So yeah, Maria, do you have anything that you want to add to this?
Yeah, I really love it. I love how, starting from the feelings and working from there to create your specific about a few basic points that have to do with your launch. really help you to stay focused throughout the whole launch period. And preparation, 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 which is really the title of this number one, item, is like the most important thing. That's also why it's number one on our list today, because whatever is going to happen to you during that launch, and believe me, a lot of things are going to come up. You're going to be overwhelmed. There's stuff going to happen. Not everything's going to go the way that you want it to go, etc., etc. If you're prepared, everything is going to be easier. It's a fact of life, right?
Yeah, it is a fact of life. And then writing them
not just with launching, but what we know from experience and what we've seen around us is that when people launch, sometimes they get the idea on Sunday and they start on Monday, right? And they don't give it enough thought and they don't plan it well, and so very often it doesn't go as well as it could go. So that's why I think this part is really so important. But Pat, before we move on to our next steps, why don't we introduce ourselves a little bit for our viewers today that don't know us yet? So why don't you start and tell us, what you're all about and where this passion from launching is coming from?
Well, my name is Pat Romain. I'm a launch and I'm a leadership coach. And for the past 7 years, I've worked with a lot of business owners, especially coaches and online business owners across the globe, launch programs, services, and set up their online business systems as a result. And also earn more money, which is the end result of all of this. I'm very, very passionate about working with women. And then I feel that by helping them launch, by being that woman that helps them launch their products and services, I help them, thrive. I help them come out as leaders. I love to see women achieve their success and, go through those mindset shifts and getting to where they want to be. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. So Muriel, tell us a little bit more about you and what you've been working on.
Okay, so I am a life and business coach, and I like to call myself a do-good mentor as well, because I'm really into, helping women change the world and bringing beautiful projects into this world that have an impact on people. And that's also where we have a lot of things that are similar, and we really understand each other very well in that sense. So my mission is to help multi-passionate and creative women to overcome anything that is keeping them from project, that idea, that business, whatever it is that they have in their minds, into the world. Because very often, we have these mental blocks, and they have to do with mindsets. We're going to talk about that. And they keep us from achieving what it is that we want, or from it could materialize and become something in the world, and we just stop ourselves even before it's become anything. So that's really what I love to do. Now, how did I get into launching? Well, I wanted to get my own products and services out there, so I really taught myself everything that I could learn about launching, in most cases the hard way. I made all the mistakes. I decided on a Sunday that I was going to start on a Monday, and I did that. And but little by little, I figured out what worked, what didn't, and all the things in between. And eventually, together with you, Batushka, we've been talking about launching for quite a while and helping each other, supporting each other. So it felt really natural as a next step to get something out together into this world and to share all that we know and have learned along the way. And that's why we're here today. So very excited about that.
Yes, I am. I'm very excited too. This is one of my favorite things to talk about.
I know.
About launching, about coming out. Because basically that's what it is. It is a coming out. All right. So let's just jump into our second very important aspect of launching.
Okay, so this is a really big one because we're going to talk about money. you know?
Yes, very juicy.
When, who doesn't love money, right? When you're getting ready to, really, really important to have a budget. And you must be really specific about the amount of money that you're going to spend on your launch. I try to be really realistic when it comes to launching, and especially with all those, 10K launches, ads that we can see all over the internet. Don't look at that and think that that is just 10K income coming in for you at the end of the road, because in many cases there are a lot of costs related and associated with launch, because there are many pieces to action and things that you have to do. So a few of these things might be, you're going to have to advertise. So you're going to need Facebook ads or Google ads. You might need ads in magazines, offline things, other media outlets. Then you're going to need people that are going to help you with the tech stuff, right? Maybe you're a tech buff like Patushka, and if you are, you don't need anyone, right? But, a lot of people need help with that. Then there's the fees for all these online platforms, like to create your landing pages, for your payment provider, your webinar software. Maybe you want a copywriter, you want mailing software, and so on, and so on, and so on. So this is really important to understand, that a launch is not just really fun and easy, and that's what we really want you to get out of this. But there are a lot of pieces that you need to action. So before you get started, it's really good to write down all the things that you'll need and to budget them. Once you have that budget, consider how much your products or services are going to cost to your clients, and figure out how much of those that you need to sell, and that can be your target. Now then you can stretch that a little bit as well, right? 10, 20, 30%, or even more if you feel up to it. And that will be your stretch goal. If you reach that target, the first one you said, you can be really proud of reach your stretch goal, then you've done amazingly well with your launch. The point is, right, because we're going to talk about this much more in the mastermind, because there is a lot of different formulas and percentages to consider when you're putting all of this together. But the point is, don't go into a launch without at least the basic numbers. We will address that in much more detail in the mastermind, and give you all the nitty-gritty that you need about this. But for now, remember to do the maths.
Exactly. That's one thing that I see that a lot of people are, when they're launching, they don't think about the money. Some of them think about, okay, my MailChimp account I need to pay, my technical VA I need to pay, my designer, my copywriter, that's okay. But a lot of people don't think about the advertising. A lot of people don't think about, what is the cost that my service or product, what is it that it costs for me to actually put it out there, because it has a cost to you. And I've even seen or been a part of launches where there was so much money spent, and that's on the other spectrum, that there's no really money coming back to the the business, which is very stressful and very, it's very sad when a business owner is trying to work. Yeah, it's very sad. So having a plan is also part of, having a budget is also part of your plan. So make sure that you do your math.
And don't spend knowing where all of that money is going, and just keep track of everything that you're spending. It's so important.
And then being realistic what you can spend. So if you can't spend $10,000 on Google on Facebook ads, which is kind of big, but you can keep track of, I can spend $100 on my ads for this period of time. Make sure that you keep track of that. Go with where your budget can, and then always make sure that you come back and see how much money is your product or launch actually costing you. So another,
and there's Just one little tiny final thing. In the mastermind, we're also going to talk about all the things that you can do to actually promote your launch that does not cost money, right? Because now we're talking about Facebook ads, Google ads, but there are many other ways that you can do things. And especially if you're on a really tight budget launch, we really don't want to make you think that. That's really not the point. But then you still need that budget. You need to know what you're able to spend, because then you have to go and look for all these other options that won't cost you money and that can drive customers into, you know, your launch funnel.
I love that distinction that you made, because if you look at your budget realistically, you know that, okay, I'm going to have to do something else to get these people into my launch because I don't have the budget to pay for this or that, or to pay for that type of ad. But I can reach out to this person who can help me put the word out, which is a really great way to see this. And then talking about other people, the third very important point that we wanted to make is your launch team. This is this is a fun point, because I love to talk about, getting people on your team to help you get ready to launch. And we love to call them our dream team. And then without this dream team, your launch won't be as successful. And you might even end up being more stressed, anxious, and stressed out generally than you need to be if you don't have these people rally around you. And your dream team can be made up of just a few people that will assist you during your launch. So Muriel talked about some of the money aspects related to having this dream team, like your copywriter and your tech VA or anybody else to help you put things together. But we can talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. But first, you have to know what your skills are. What are you able to do, especially if you're on a tight budget, especially if you can only have a couple of people help you. So if you're good at writing, you're good at technical, online technical stuff, for the payment system, getting support, for the things that you're not very good at. My experience is that it's much better to surround myself with the right people than trying to fit someone that is wrong first, and then trying to do it yourself, and you can't really do it, or you're trying to learn while you're launching, and that makes for a very stressful situation. I've tried that. So members of your launch team can be your copywriter, like we talked about, your tech person, a coordinator, customer support person, anybody else that you can think about to help you with your launch can be added to your list. And just like Muriel was saying, it doesn't have to be someone that you're actually paying or that comes out of your budget. Your little sister, she's really good at social media. You can help her. You can, ask her to help you put these things together. Ask her to help you lay out, your social media plan when it comes to your launch. So it's just thinking about the key members. So first, you think about what your skills are and try to establish what are the key people that can surround you and support you with what you don't know how to do or don't have time to learn how to do. And then, what do you want to do, actually? So, and don't wait until the last minute to do this. This is actually part of the plan, I would say. Finding a copywriter, I don't know, Muriel, I'm sure you can attest, finding a copywriter to write or to look at some of the emails that you wrote and make sure that they're top-notch. It takes time to get the right person, the person that can write your voice, for example. The same goes for technical people, and knowing who is available when. So preparation is everything when it comes to that. And don't be afraid to delegate. That's another thing, and I'm even guilty of that. Even this morning, I was on a call with a team that I'm helping a client of mine launch something, and I felt like I needed to keep things to myself. Delegating is a big thing, especially when you know that you know how to do the thing, but you don't necessarily have time to think about doing it or doing it actually. So
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you check with yourself so that you delegate and help your team. Now they're your dream team. Help you put this thing out there with success. Yeah.
Yeah, I really so agree with that. And that's the reason why it's really important to do this from the start and to have this as part of your preparation. Because what happens when you're in a launch and all of a sudden things go wrong and you need a copywriter or you need someone to help you, what's going to happen is you're going to have this sense of urgency and you won't think clearly. So you might go to someone that is not fit for you, or you might have to pick the first person that is accepting to work for you because you're on a time schedule and things have to go fast. And so, even better than just having one copywriter, just try to be, if you can, have a few people that can help you, right? But make sure all your emails are written in advance, all your stuff is ready, everything is checked. I mean, the more you do this before you press the play button, the better.
Exactly. For stress.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and also for the quality, right? And the success of the launch.
And I know that we're stressing a lot on preparation. And that's one thing that I always talk to Milyet about when we're launching stuff, when she's launching on her side and me on my side, or supporting clients. Preparation is always what will make you successful. But on the flip side, if you're prepared and something goes wrong or something doesn't happen where it's supposed to happen, you will have enough hindsight to just pause because you know what you want, the results you want. You already know the end game, so you'll be able to accept whatever goes wrong even better.
Yes, yes, yeah, that's really true. And so that will help you with avoiding overwhelm and staying in some sort of an acceptable kind of mode when things go really wrong, right? We know, we've been there. Okay. Moving on to number 4, over your fears and say yes to being visible. Because what we've been talking about until now was all the stuff you do in the background. Nobody sees it, right? It's all the stuff you're doing before you're putting yourselves out there. But this is something that is absolutely essential for a launch and that a lot of people struggle with, including Petrushka and myself. We've had many talks about this, very long way since our early days. Now, allowing yourself to be visible is really essential to a successful launch, because launching is a way to get people all the way through your sales funnel in a very short period of time and enough to buy from you. And for them to be able to do that, they need to trust you. And for them to trust you, they need to see you, they need to hear you, and they need to learn about you. And there aren't that many other options to do that online, right? Whether it's through audio or video, social media channels, Periscope, Snapchat, whatever it is you're choosing, you have to show yourself. And take it from me and Petrushka, that can be really scary. So here are a few ways that you can use and that can help you to allow yourself to be seen. Of course, this is a lot about mindset, right? It's about how you see the world, it's about how you see yourself in that world, and it's about how you see other people around you as well. The first thing is that you really have to learn, know, convince yourself, and remember that you're good enough. Just the way you are, at that point in your life, with the product or service that you want to bring to the world, you're doing fine. Compare ourselves to other people, and especially online, because everybody's doing something, right? Once you start thinking about a launch, the only thing you can see is people around you being visible, launching, So what happens then is if you compare yourself too much, you're going to feel you're not good enough to do your thing. But you have to remember that you have something wonderful to offer, and you have to show it to the world. You have to see it as a service that people need and that you have to give them. Now then, because there are so many different options, if it's your first launch and if you're just starting out, you might want to pick one thing, one media outlet, one way to show yourself. You don't have to use all the media options out there, right? You can pick one thing that works very well from you and go from there. It could be audio, video, or maybe even writing, right? If you're really good at writing beautiful emails, that's going to work for you. But whatever it is, allow yourself to be visible by being you. If it's writing you're choosing, put real words in there. Don't try to sugarcoat everything, but be authentic. That is what will make people trust you in the end, right? They have to see you for who you are. And then the third one is seek support from your dream team, obviously, but then also from people around you and people you know that really care about you. Never worry alone. And during a launch and before a launch, you're gonna worry. Trust us, right? There's gonna be moments when I think, I don't know how to do this. I'm not good for this. I'm not skilled for this. I want to quit. Those moments are the one where you have to reach out to somebody else, let them in on what you're doing, and ask for their support. It's really going to make a world of a difference.
A very big difference. And then you talked about the dream team. I do put these people in my dream team too. For example, Muriel is my dream team too, because I always, we always mastermind together. I always go back to her for feedback, and I always go back to her for her to support me when I'm launching, because the fear of being seen is there for everybody.
Of course.
For everybody. Another thing I wanted to mention is, when you're launching, when you're launching and you're looking out there, especially online, you see everybody's launching the same thing as you. You're like, oh my God, everybody's launching the same thing as me. This happened to me yesterday. I was like, oh, okay, this looks the same. But what you have to realize is your mind is kind of searching for the same thing. It's just looking out and saying, it's just like when my husband and I, we bought a new car. It's a Volkswagen, and I swear all the cars in the streets that I see now are Volkswagen. The same color, the same size. I see the same thing. I'm like, oh, I realize everybody has Volkswagens. But it's just the way it is. So either you choose to shut it down and not look at everything and look at what everyone is doing, which helps me, or you just choose to, put it aside and, make it become proof that your thing is needed. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Amazon expands, right? That's the thing that is going to be part of your universe. And it's not a bad thing. So when we say don't compare yourself, that just means don't despair because there is another Volkswagen in the street. There is room for both of them. And but just know that you have as much right as anybody else to be doing your thing, and you have as many gifts as anybody else to be doing a good job and to be serving the world.
Definitely. And then this brings us to our fifth point and our final point, and it is how to avoid a launch letdown. So we're kind of, it's all mindset, how to avoid being disappointed when you don't reach your goal, or you still reach your goal, but you still feel that letdown. And I have to say that sometimes, because it's such a high to launch and put things out there and have feedback from different, prospects and clients and things like that, and seeing how people react to it. It's been, sometimes when it's done, you're like, oh, and then you feel a letdown. You feel like, should I be doing more? Should I extend? Yeah. So even when you reach your goals, you can still feel that. And and also, I want point or another during your launch, you are going to freak out. Let me just put it out there. So we've talked about this on our first class this week, and talking about it again. Launching is stressful. Launching, even if you are doing everything right, life gets in the way of your plan, like I mentioned before. You will feel, at moments, it doesn't have to be all the time, you will feel some despair, you will feel a little bit of in your stomach sometimes. And to avoid the launch letdown, you need to be gentle with yourself. When you feel really overwhelmed, when you feel like you're on the edge of breaking down, you need to take some time off. The world is not going to end. Basically, that's what it is. Your team is there to help you. Your team, those that are part of your team, like your business team, and also your friends and your mastermind sisters, like Muriel for me. So they are here to help you. This is also why it's very important to plan everything in advance so that everyone knows what to do, even when you're not around. And Muriel is so really good at this that she's one of my, I'm trying to be like you when it comes to planning and be able to delegate, and be able to delegate for when you need that time to take yourself out of the situation. Everything doesn't fall apart. So another thing I wanted to mention is, it's part of establishing that self-care. For me, having a routine, a morning routine, even when there's no launch going on for clients, for myself, for anybody, I still stick with that because it gives me the foundation to start on a really, really awesome day and to start on the right foot. And even this morning, I was in the bathroom looking putting my nice makeup this morning for once, and I realized that I told myself, you can do this. And then my husband's like, but you tell yourself that every day. I did not realize I did that every single day. Yes,
that's so good.
I had no idea. I had no idea. I was like, oh, okay. So you just like a little child.
Yeah, it's so important.
Too. I tell them you can do this. It doesn't have to be in your mind. You can definitely do this. And being your own mother, I guess, giving yourself that time for self-care.
Yeah. And another thing that's really so important is that, a launch, whether it's going well or not, or, all the things in between, it's not the end of the world. Because when you're in it and you're so focused on it, you can really start to think that, everything that isn't going all so terrible. But this is just how much energy and how much focus you're giving to these things. So every minute and every second, you have the opportunity to pick yourself up and to say, I've got this. This is going to work. Let's not worry. Let's just move on. Let's look at the next thing and not dwell on anything that is passing and that isn't super. Because perfection anyway. Okay. So that brings us to the end of our 5 points for today, which I absolutely loved. Because, first there is all the things that we believe about launching which aren't true. And then there is all these things that might not be the first ones we think launching, like the preparation, the plan, the dream team, how to pick yourself up when things aren't going the way you want. But all of those things are really essential. Why? Because a launch is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
It is a marathon.
Right?
Yes.
And and I mean, we still have 2 beautiful master classes coming, but there are so many things to talk about. Perfect health, you have to sleep well. Anyway, all of those things are coming. These are all essential things when we're launching. But right now we have something super exciting to talk about, and that is our Launching with Love Mastermind. Because we're giving these master classes as a going to be starting on May 1st, and what we're going to be doing for a period of 6 months with you, which is making you ready to launch your new product or service together with us by the end of September or the beginning of October 2016. What's really cool, I actually started this when we were talking, and we decided we were gonna prepare our whole launch of the later part of this year together. You know, just because we thought, you know, this is so cool to do together. We were sisters anyway. We support each other. You know, we want to help each other out. So, but then we started to think, you know, this could be so cool to open up and other women as well. So during that time together, we're going to prepare your strategy together. We're going to put your calendar together. We're going to get a list of all the assets that you need and get you to put them together as well. There is a lot of together here, which is a really beautiful world. But that's, you know, that's the foundational word for a mastermind, though, right? It's togetherness.
Togetherness, exactly. I still agree.
So, and the thing that is so great about this launch is that we're going to do it together with you. There it is again. What do we mean by that? Is that we're going to launch our own new thing in September, October as well. And we'll prepare our launch alongside yours. So you'll get everything that you need to be successful, and we'll share all that we know and have implemented successfully before with you, and all the new stuff that we're still learning, because, you know, it's a right. Katushka, can you still hear me? Yeah, I am.
I hear you. I hear you.
Okay, great. Do you want to say anything about, you know, the amount of participants and?
Yeah, the mastermind is, and I don't know if you guys see me. The mastermind, the spots are limited, and you can't enroll in the mastermind yet, but you can put yourself on the waiting list by going to launchingwithlove.com, and between today and Thursday, and I'm saying Thursday, today is Thursday, between today and tomorrow we might get our invitation, because that's almost ready, and I'm very excited about that. So go to launchingwithlove.com to sign up and put yourself on the waiting list. There is a monthly cost to the mastermind, but we kept it really low, and Nuyen and I really talked about this. Even yesterday we were talking about this. It's going to be $150 a month for 6 months. And why we kept it so low is because a lot of business owners or coaches or creative business owners and entrepreneurs come to us and they're starting out, and they don't necessarily have a really huge budget for a mastermind or for the help that they need, but they need the help. But they need the help, because what I realized is if you don't know what you don't know, you're never going to advance. You're never going to grow your business. You're never going to get to the next level that you want to get. Or it's going to take extremely long time to get there. So we wanted to make it accessible for those who are starting out, those who are, you know, not necessarily starting out, but who are not yet there when it comes to the financial, you know, gains that they've got. So as part of the mastermind, we'll be in touch with you on an ongoing basis through a Facebook group. You'll get weekly emails. You'll get access to our launching material, which Maria mentioned, and you'll also get, what I love about that is the ongoing support, weekly support daily support that you'll get, and the feedback that you'll get from your stuff. And that's what I appreciate about being in masterminds or having someone who knows, is to get that feedback, or having someone who doesn't know, who's looking at it for the first time. It really helps to get that feedback, to see what someone external to yourself or your team has to say, as if they were a prospect. And sometimes when they've already launched or they've already been through it, they can actually give advice from that point of reference too. So I love that about being in a mastermind, and I'm also more motivated to do things when I'm in a mastermind, because I know that they're counting on me to be out there and to change and to impact change in the world in a certain way. And we'll also hop on calls, Noelle and I, with you every 2 weeks to help you move your launch forward. So not only will you plan everything, but you'll also be launching while you're on the mastermind, so you can get the support that you need then too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that what you said about, that's where your stuff is going to be, checked, and people are going to read it, and you can get feedback. That is indeed what is so great about a mastermind, because where else can you really, talk about your idea and get people to give you honest feedback and supportive feedback and help you move forward in the right direction. So to me, that is assets of being in masterminds, which I absolutely love myself as well. Okay, so more on that later, and a third masterclass coming next week. Let's not forget, that's going to be super cool.
Thursday, 1 p.m.
Yeah, if we have questions, now is the time to use the chat and ask us. It will be our pleasure to hop on there and help you with whatever it is that you are wondering about or thinking about. So we're going to give everyone a few minutes to let us know if there is anything they want to ask us or address. And if not, then we are going to close this masterclass session and kiss everybody good night, and see you depending on where you are, and see you again next time. So let's just wait a little bit longer, Patushka, but I don't think that we have any questions right now.
No,
okay, perfect. So Patushka, I had an absolute blast being here with you. Yay!
I love this masterclass.
We started technical glitches, and I am so happy that we're doing this. So Masterclass 1 was foundation. Masterclass 2 is the 5 most important things. There is a page on Launching with Love, and you're going to get an email about that, where you can see the first masterclass again and see this one again as well. And so next week we are going to have another masterclass about launching, which is going to be building upon what we've been doing so far yet again. So you don't want to miss that one either, and we're going to notify you by email.
Exactly. And then in the replay email that we have for this masterclass, you'll be getting your masterclass notes that we'll be sending out, so that you don't have to take notes while you're looking at it. Since we didn't have any slides either, so you'll be able to keep that. You were just looking at our beautiful faces. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for listening to us, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.